Tight Sports, everybody. Welcome back to Tight Sports. We are getting ready for another big weekend of college football. I'm going to get to some picks later, but right now we're going to deal with the game of the week. Alabama going at the Neyland Stadium dealing with them doggone coon dogs. Yes, that's right. We're going to talk about them blue tick hounds real quick. Blue tick hounds. You know, the SEC got some interesting mascot selections. Just really interesting. You know, we got Crimson Tide, we have a Pachyderm, you got Tigers and the Eagle, you got Volunteers and the dog. I don't get it. But anyway, here we go. Tennessee. What do we have to worry about with Tennessee? Tennessee is a powerful offense. Number 9 offense in the country at 484 yards per game, 6.55 yards a play. That's a first down and 2. Y'all do realize that. So we're going to have to be on our keys with that. Their defense is number 2 in total yards, 250 yards given up per game. They give up 4 yards per play, 3 plays, first down, right? But we're going to have to, we know it's coming, man. I mean, the wide receivers are going to be stretched sideline to sideline. They're going to snap the ball real quick, which we don't need to do. 9 seconds, creating space. They're averaging 42 points a game, 42. But there's a caveat to that. A lot of that came against UTC, Kent State, NC State. Not very good teams. Against SEC teams, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Florida, they're averaging 21 points a game. 21 points a game. Now, do we have defensive issues? Yeah, I can say that. Are we better than Arkansas's defense? I think we are. Does Oklahoma have a better defense than Alabama? I don't think so. And I know we got a better defense. We got better everything than Florida. Everything. If you disagree, put it in the comments, but you're really wasting your time. We just have to be ready for what they're doing. I just think their weakness, based on my roommate, my ex-roommate, who was a Tennessee fan. Shout out to you, Time Bomb. That's right, Time Bomb. He hates their quarterback right now. I would make a prediction to say that Nico's probably going to be on the West Coast by next year. Because, I mean, this man is a top-notch volleyball player for one thing. And I think he's a part-time model. He can make a lot of money playing volleyball and being a model. And can go to USC, UCLA, pick up another couple of million, play football over there. Probably still make it to the pros. But over here, he can get broke off. Because he runs. He got long legs to be running. I seen him get hit. I seen what happens after he get hit. So I think we have a good chance in this game, folks. Right now, Alabama is the number 35 offense in the country. We get 7.37 plays per game at 442 yards per game is what we get all together every game. And that's all you really need to keep things going. With a number 55 defense in the country. I've told you, my take is Womack had a weaker defensive backfield coming in, but they're not protecting them. And I'm not talking about the front seven. I'm talking about the offense and the front seven, perhaps. We are giving up, we are giving up 342 yards a game, 4.64 yards per play, which when you put it over here with Tennessee's 6.55 yards per play, if you come in the middle of 5 yards per play, that's no good. That's no good. I would agree. If Tennessee gets to rolling on you, you got a problem. So what do you got to do? You got to control the clock. How do you control the clock? You control the ball. And I think if you control the ball, control the clock by controlling the ball, you may get control of the scoreboard. I'm over here now. This is my math crunching hat. I'm working on this, and I'm going to do a whole nother separate video just on the numbers on our pass to run ratio. Alabama penalties, we are tied for 111th, but we are improved. We used to be like 118 or something. We give up 7.83 yards a game. And for this game right now, I know we still had about 3 people that are questionable, but I didn't update my injuries right now. But we do have some injuries mainly in the wide receiver area. Kendrick Law and Kobe Prentice, they still may be questionable for Saturday. But here are my keys to the game for our offense. We got to run the ball. We got to run the ball so we can run the clock, and that way we run the game. We need to get 35 minutes time possession. Now, how are we going to do that? I've been saying all week long, it'd be great if we could average like 50 runs a game, and I would like the great majority of those to be to our running backs. If we can get our running backs about 40 carries a game, that'd be great. 50 is a little high, but I will say 45. And I got the numbers to prove it right here. In our better games, we ran the ball against, who's the first team? West Kentucky 47 times, USF 43 times. Things got a little shaky to me around Wisconsin. We ran the ball 34 times, and we lost the time possession battle by 8 minutes. We won the game, though. We ran the ball 32 times versus Georgia, and we passed the ball 33 times. Now, I looked this up earlier. Tom Brady averaged like 34 yards. 34? Was he 34? Yeah, Tom Brady averaged about 34 passes per game. Is that what the number? Yeah, 35.97 passes per game. Tom Brady. I like Jalen. I think Jalen's a great college quarterback. I think Jalen can play in the NFL. But do you raise your hand if you think Tom Brady should throw 36 times and Jalen should throw the ball 33 times? People say, they're wide open. There's reasons you don't do it. That was against Georgia. Did we almost lose the game? Ask yourself. That was a 51% pass ratio. That's crazy. That's why Georgia had all the time to come back on us. We always trying to hit the big play. They believe in big explosive plays. They believe in big game-changing plays on defense. But they are game-changing run defenses. I'll continue. We had 21 rushes against who? Vanderbilt. Lost the time possession battle by 23 minutes. Say it again. We ran the ball 21 times, only had 46 plays in the whole Vanderbilt game. And we lost the time possession battle by 23 minutes. That's a quarter and a half, y'all. You can't keep doing that and expect to win. Then we came back against South Carolina. We had the major 3-minute brain fart in the second quarter of that game, which turned everything around, but we ran the ball 38 times. We had a total of 66 plays. So that means we only passed the ball 35% of the time. That's what I can live with. 35%, 65% run. That's what we need to live right there. That's what we need to live, 65% run. I don't care how, based on total number of plays, which hopefully we keep that above 65, get that time of possession going. Protect your DBs. They're young, but they got lungs and a heartbeat. They need rest. So if you want a massive pass rush up front, you can't pass rush the way you want to if they got to keep going there and pass rushing because the offense is going to get a ball right back. And I'm talking with 2-minute scoring drives or 3 and outs or 5 and outs. Run the ball. They said, well, then, we're going to take what defense gives us. Well, I'm telling you, in college ball, as it's becoming more professional ball, you got to take the run. You got to take the run. You got to be tough enough to say, we're going to take the run. We gon' run the ball. Not we're gonna, G-O-N-N-A. We gon', G-O-N, run the ball. And we're gonna run it down your face. And you're not gonna be able to do anything about it. And if you can't say that, Chris Tyler Nation, let me introduce you to our first in a long time 4-loss season. This schedule is crazy. Tennessee, Missouri, LSU, Oklahoma with the questionable defense, and Auburn. And I'm going to tell you like this. They got their offensive troubles, but they defense up early, they try to bring the wood to you. And if we're going to be passive, talking about what they're going to let us do today, they're going to let us throw the ball 33 times and maybe we can rush 32. No. You got to go in and say, we're going to run the ball. You got these pachyderm-like offensive linemen run the ball. Back to my keys. I'm going to slow down. Secondly, I can say we got to have 45 rushes per game. I mean, and we need 7% of those rushes to go to the back. How long do you think you're going to be able to run a quarterback in the SEC? What did Jalen have? Jalen had 20 rushes last week. How long do you think you're going to be able to do that for, you know? I mentioned it in the USF game. They almost took him out in the USF game. Did you see it? Did you see the questionable hits in the USF game? Did you see him kind of limp a little bit? I'll tell you what, Diego Pavia is limping right now. You can't keep running. You can't run your quarterback in the SEC. Really, none of college football, but especially in the SEC, you can't do it. Why do you think Ewers is gone out of Texas? He just takes hits and get a little fragile. But you think Arch is going to run more than he throws? You crazy. We cannot run our most valuable piece 20 times a game and expect this to work out very well. We have great running backs. And if we don't run the two great running backs we have now, that running back room will be empty by the time January rolls around. We got a whole gaggle of running backs. You think they're going to stay there and not get run? He didn't have the running backs at Washington. I get it. He got them here. But if you don't use them, and he got more coming in, I think, like, why would I come here? I'll at least go over to Mississippi State and run the ball and get pushed around by Kirby on the sideline and still got a shot for the pros. But if you don't ever play, why am I here? Number 3, limit the penalties. Woo! The offense gets 2 penalties to me because we're going to need 2 to 3 on defense. But sometimes that 15-yard pass interference is a lot better than that 6. Raise your hand if you agree. So I take 5 penalties in this game. We're averaging 7.83 a game. Offense, you can't have but 2. Defense, we'll give you 3, but if you can do it less, that'll be great. You have to limit the penalties. As far as the defensive keys, we have to manage the mighty Sampson. Dylan Sampson, 700 yards, 15 touchdowns. He's a monster back, y'all. He's a monster back. He's fast, and our LBs going to have our LBs, our linebackers. They're going to have to wrap up. Everybody got to wrap up this week. You got to wrap up. And speaking of wrapping up, if y'all don't know this, Nick Saban was a phenomenal defensive back coach, and one thing that people couldn't do on us at the time was to run thinking you're going to dominate Kool-Aid McKinstry, for instance, or Terrion Arnold, or you keep going back and back. You couldn't even play in Nick Saban's book. You couldn't play DB based on the fact that you could cover. If you could cover, but you couldn't hit on running back, you got to sit on the sideline. You got to get your weight up because under Nick Saban's philosophy, he's going to put so much pressure on the quarterback. You ain't really got to cover that grade anyway. I mean, you look at Terrion Arnold, he get caught up sometimes. He's a rookie. You get caught up. You got to cover in the NFL because the guy, all they need is 3 seconds to throw a ball about 30 yards. But at Alabama, you can get better as a cover corner. You know, Surtain, he wasn't always great. He was always good, but he wasn't always great, right? Everybody gets their lumps. But in this game, our DBs must shed their blocks. Tennessee's wide receivers, they block better than catch. Mainly because Nico is not that accurate. He does have some accuracy issues when he's pressured. Everybody does. But they block. It is mandatory. They big too. What's one guy? I wrote his name down here somewhere. They have a guy up there. He's I'm going to him next. Because that goes into my next key to the game is you got to trap the squirrels. Oh yeah. Defense, you got to trap the squirrels. Squirrel White, they call him. And this other 6-year senior, Brew McCoy. Brew McCoy is a big guy. And he can block, he can catch. But I think he blocks. But he could end up being a tight end in the NFL. I think it's not that big, but he can block. They all can block. And Squirrel White, I mean, these others, they're going to need quarterback pressure. So you got to trap the squirrels and force miscues, mistakes. We have been good at doing turnovers and having game-changing plays on defense. They set goals, they achieved those goals, and they won the game. Last week, didn't look pretty. They really put the defense behind the 8 ball. If by letting go of 12 points. 5 extra points in the last 2 minutes, and the team let go of 12 points in the last 3 minutes of the second quarter. But outside of those 5 points, they really put the defense, they stressed the defense to its full. But they came up with the goal of last week's game of having 12 game-changing plays and ended up with 13. So, hey, what can you say? They thought that that's what they needed to win, and they went a little bit above that on defense. But I understand, folks, everybody wants to blitz. We want to blitz. Well, you may start out blitzing. How long are we going to have to blitz, though? Do we have to come in like, how many possessions do we got to blitz? We need to keep their possessions low. You get them 13 possessions, you're going to be able to blitz effectively and shed blocks, watch out for a big monster back, and all the rest. You can't keep playing. You can't play high-level defense forever. The rotation is not there, and you got to protect them. Complementary football. What's needed. I hope Coach Sheridan gets it. Now, I saw some improvement there. Against Vanderbilt, we had 21 rushes. 21 rushes. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Milroe had half or more than half of those. Ran our running backs like 11 times. Yeah, so about half. I think Justice had 5 and Jam had 6. That's terrible. It's horrible. But against USC, take those 5 points away, it's a better victory. Still too close for me. They had 38 rushes. But Milroe had 18. I don't like that. Should have been 30 going to the running backs. Jalen needs to really reserve his runs for, hey, the play is broken down. I'm out of here. Maybe 2 draws, and definitely we just got to find something else to do in the red zone. We were running that same play since Michigan. Except Michigan was inside. These are outside. So what can you do? But that's what I got for this week as far as this game. But my score, which I usually just come up with right here, I'm thinking we probably will end up getting close to their average against SEC teams of 21. But I'm hoping we can keep them at 17. And I'm thinking that Alabama should be able to go up there, and this is a foreign territory game. Listen to one of the coaches say, if we focus on the crowd, we're not focused on our business. I'm like, I don't know what that means, but it's loud. 100,000 people have a tendency to make a little noise, especially when most of them, don't want you there. With about 75,000 don't want you in their place. But I got Alabama winning this game 27-17 in Neyland Stadium. I will be here live for the entire game. For right now, everything is set up in my life to be right here with you. So there's no need for you to be in Baby Net, Alabama. No need for you to be in Huntsville, Alabama. Hope Hub, Alabama. You faller watching by yourself. You can tune in right here to Tight Sports, and I will be watching that game with you. You can tell me to shut up because I do a good job of talking the entire time. Let's get to my picks for the week. The games I'm going to be watching before the Alabama game or during or around sometime on Saturday. Miami versus Louisiana. Louisiana is a 5-point dog, but Louisville, not Louisiana. Louisville's a 5-point dog, and I am going to take Louisville. I just think something is brewing with those doggone Hurricanes. It's almost the end of hurricane season as November approaches. And speaking of hurricanes, if you guys could, find a charity that you are comfortable with, and the hurricane victims and the families of survivors, they really do need our help. So if you can find an organization you're comfortable with to donate, or if you can safely drive into those areas and help out, please do. America has been ravaged by storms, and the government can't do all of it, especially in certain communities. So if you can help out, that would be a real big plus. Next, another noon game like the Miami game, Nebraska versus Indiana. Indiana is ranked number 16. They are favored by 6.5. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little faith in Indiana. Now, all these picks are just for entertainment purposes only. I'd rather for you to send your your money through hurricane relief and don't be doing all that crazy betting, especially if you're doing betting based on what I'm saying right here. At 3:30, Notre Dame taking on Georgia Tech. If you know me, if you've been listening for a while, you know I got a special place in my heart for Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is 11.5-point underdog. I'm getting conservative this year. Really, it's going to be hard for me to give somebody a double-digit advantage and pick them. So I'm taking Georgia Tech in the points. Plus they're at home, even though it's Notre Dame, but they ain't nobody. At 3:30 as well, number 22, the reigning national champion Michigan at 22, at 4-2. Out of my damn fault. Going up against Illinois, Indiana. All right, they're in the top 25 for the first time in a while. They're going to play at 3:30, and Illinois is a home dog. Is that right? Home underdog by 3.5 points. I'm going to go with. I'm going to go ahead and take the points and take the home team. Michigan may pull it out, but you never know. I mean, Illinois has been playing some good defense. I do remember that. Both teams, they're 5-1, by the way. They haven't beat anybody of note, if I'm not mistaken, like Penn State or Ohio State. But I'll take 3. I'll go with 3 points. Michigan should win that game. I was a little half on that one. Moving to the SEC. At noon, Auburn Tigers at 2-4 will be taking on Mizzou at 5-1. Mizzou is just a 4.5-point favorite at home, but I am going to roll with Mizzou. I don't know. Auburn's on a bye week. They may come out and shock the world, but Mizzou is soft. I'm telling you. I mean, Vandy just got them. We kind of soft, whatever. But if you soft, I'm telling you, Auburn get scrappy. They healthy. Peyton Thorne do some things. Next thing you know, you're lost. 12:45, South Carolina at 3-3 against Oklahoma. They are the 2.5-point favorite at home is Oklahoma. For some reason I picked South Carolina. I'm thinking South Carolina got a good thing going last week. They'll continue it. Oklahoma still got some offensive issues. I think that'll happen. 3:30, we got Alabama. Alabama is favored by 3 points. I got Alabama winning. Number 7, Alabama against number 11, Tennessee. Tennessee soon to be number 17. I'll take that. 4:15, you got Texas A&M. 5-1 going against Mississippi State. Texas A&M, they favored by 15. It don't even matter. Mississippi State, not ready for prime time yet. 7 o'clock. LSU versus Arkansas. Arkansas is a dog at home by 2.5. Yeah, taking LSU. LSU should get that. I want LSU to win everything straight up to the point when we arrive in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Let me say, up until the Tide shows up in Red Stick, Louisiana. I want them to win everything so we can be their first loss. Be very disappointed to them in a while. They are 5-1 right now. A big game. Ball State taking on Vandy. I'm taking Ball State in this one. Vandy is favored. If I'm not mistaken, Vandy is favored by 25 points against Ball State. Diego Pavia is limping, so I'm thinking they may not play him the whole game. They don't even have to play him at all to beat Ball State. So I'm gonna go with that. I know Vandy will win, but I don't think they're gonna win by no 25 points. If that's incorrect, because my handwriting is not necessarily English or manuscript, I write in hieroglyphics, and sometimes even I get confused. A lot of y'all can't read that. I know you can. 7:30. The big one. The big one. Number what is Georgia? Number 5 Georgia versus Texas. Georgia is 5-1. Texas is 6-0. Texas is only favored by 3.5. Texas ain't been tested to me. Georgia has been through some things. And I'm not saying they're necessarily a powerful team. I just don't know how powerful Texas is. I just don't know. But it's 3.5 points. That's a little small, narrow margin. I know Georgia has a lot of injuries, so I'm going for Texas. I'm going to pick Texas to cover the spread. But I really, really, really want them dogs to win. We're going to beat some dogs and we're going to chip some dogs all in the same weekend. Well, at least we are here at Tight Sports. 7:45. the 3-3s versus the 3-3s. University of Kentucky versus, I will be watching this game around probably 11 and a half on 1.5 speed, just speed through it. Kentucky versus Florida. Florida is an underdog for some reason, 1.5. I'm taking Florida on that one. Definitely taking Florida. And if you didn't hear it, Alabama got the number 2 defensive lineman in the country, Kevontae Henry, has decided to leave JUCO. When he leaves JUCO, he's come to the Tide, and we had a lineman to shoot up from like number 113th lineman in the country. He is now ranked number 18, I think. And with that, Alabama, according to On3, is the number 1 recruiting class in the country. I hope we can keep it that way, but there's no guarantee because there's a lot of stuff going on with these doggone kids and monies and all these non-rules and people calling you all day. But that's all I got for right now. And always remember, roll, Tide, roll.